Upcoming BRICS Summit. Analyzing the Ukraine conflict, single currency, and membership expansion. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced on Wednesday, 16, that the upcoming BRICS Summit will delve into various topics including the ongoing war in Ukraine, the possibility of adopting a single currency for financial negotiations within the group, and the addition of new member countries. Comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the BRICS group holds annual summits. This year's summit is scheduled to take place from the 22nd to the 24th of this month in Johannesburg, South Africa. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva will be attending the meeting, and members of the Brazilian government have already arrived in the country to negotiate the terms of the discussions. In July, Guan reported that Lula was considering a tour of the continent in an effort to re-establish Brazil's ties with African nations. Lula's predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro, did not visit Africa during his presidential term from 2019 to 2022. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed on Wednesday that after the BRICS summit in South Africa, Lula will also have engagements in Angola and São Tomé and Príncipe. The BRICS summit in South Africa. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, 3 key topics are to be discussed at this year's summit. The conflict is expected to be discussed during the leaders' retreat, which involves only the heads of state and government of the BRICS countries. Russian President Vladimir Putin will not be attending in person and is expected to participate virtually. He will be represented by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in other events throughout the summit. The war between Russia and Ukraine has been ongoing for a year and a half, and Lula has advocated for the creation of a group consisting of countries that can mediate a potential agreement. In addition to Brazil, Lula often mentions China, India, and Indonesia. We must differentiate what is discussed among the leaders during the retreat from what will be included in the summit's declaration. I believe that what is discussed among the leaders, especially during the retreat, will be much richer than what appears in the declaration. Why? The declaration reflects each country's position, and we know they differ somewhat, said Eduardo Saboya, the Secretary for Asia and the Pacific at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, on Wednesday. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, 22 countries have submitted applications for BRICS membership. President Lula himself has advocated for countries such as Argentina, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia to join the group. Eduardo Saboya stated that negotiators at the summit have been discussing the parameters for admitting new countries into BRICS, but the political decision of accepting or rejecting membership and which countries to include will ultimately rest with the heads of state and government. The expansion of BRICS will be on the agenda during the leaders' private meeting on the evening of the 22nd. These topics will be addressed at a political level during this time. We are discussing criteria and principles that will underpin these announcements, these measures to be taken at the political level. I won't anticipate what they are, because that is the purpose of the leaders' meeting. However, the preparatory work for preserving BRICS cohesion is being carried out at the negotiators' level, Saboya explained. Another topic to be debated during the summit is the adoption of a single currency as the basis for financial negotiations among the BRICS countries. Lula has argued that countries should have the option to conduct negotiations in a currency other than the US dollar, and that the new development bank, NDD, also known as the BRICS Bank, should be able to choose which currency to use. The president believes that such a change could strengthen other currencies. Following his time in South Africa, Lula will travel to Angola, where he has various engagements, including a meeting with the president of Angola, João Lourenço, a visit to and speech at Angola's National Assembly, a meeting with business representatives from sectors such as food, pharmaceuticals, agricultural machinery, and aviation services, a visit to the headquarters of the Guimarães Rosa Institute. After the schedule in Angola, Lula will then proceed to São Tomé and Príncipe to participate in the Summit of the Community of Portuguese-Speaking Countries, CPLP. One of the topics to be discussed at the summit, according to the Brazilian government, will be the financing of the multilateral organization. What are your thoughts on the upcoming BRICS summit and the topics to be addressed? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this video on social media.